In parts of Alabama having a nice soaking rain last night. Other spots still in that drought. More in your local forecast in just a minute.
And local election officials are this week, and then the presidential race. Now, there's one amendment, Tuscaloosa County ballot, that may not be clear to residents. And Kentucky is holding their annual indoor event at a brand new location. News at 5 starts right now.
This is WVUA 23 News.
And we're glad you're with us tonight. I'm Jabari Pruitt. Weather is up top tonight. Chief Meteorologist Richard Scott is here with the first look at that forecast. Richard.
Hey, some of us getting some pretty nice rain out there last night and yesterday, but unfortunately not the entire state getting that. Here's a look at radar now, and again, got some showers still ongoing across the southern counties, but really it ain't raining a whole lot in that area. Skies are mostly cloudy across the state. Here's our Saturday forecast, Jabbar, leading into that weekend. Starting off tomorrow morning around 60, we're up to 76 by lunchtime, then 82 by mid-afternoon. So very similar to today. We'll feel muggy across the region for tomorrow as well. So again, the weekend, complete weekend forecast. Sunday up to 82, partly sunny this weekend. No rain expected, but Jabari, rain chances coming back for some of us next week. We'll look at that election day forecast and your 7-day in just a few minutes.
Richard, thank you. October was one of the driest months in the U.S. NOAA reports the average precipitation across the United States was less than an inch. The Climate Prediction Center's latest forecast is for wetter than normal conditions for the month of November. An update to a story we've been following since Wednesday. The suspect charged with leading police officers on a high-speed chase now faces more charges. 25-year-old Justin Finkley was taken into custody Thursday and charged with theft of property. He now faces additional charges of attempting to elude and 3 counts of possession of a controlled substance. Investigators with the Tuscaloosa County Sheriff's Office says he was driving a stolen car and took off when officers tried to pull him over. Finkley crashed near the Brookwood exit on Interstate 2059, then ran off into the woods. Well, Tuscaloosa County voters will see Local Amendment 1 will be on the ballot Tuesday, and some residents hope voters will choose yes. WVUA 23's Paisley Roberts talked with voters to learn more about this amendment.
Local Amendment 1 refers to an area in Tuscaloosa County near Sanders Ferry Road and Black Warrior Road. Around 1947, a special tax district was created for this area, and the residents paid property tax to the Tuscaloosa City Schools. Since then, the residents have been paying taxes but are unable to vote on any property tax issues. If this amendment passes, residents will be able to vote in the future.
And it comes up about once every 30 years. When a tax referendum comes up and everybody becomes aware, hey, we're not going to be able to vote. And that's what came up this time, was back on Valentine's Day. The county had a tax referendum and none of us were able to vote. And then the city had one here recently. None of us were allowed to vote. The
passing of Amendment 1 will put the people in this area in the district for Tuscaloosa County Schools, where they will pay taxes and be able to vote.
We're one of the few areas left in this whole country that's being taxed and has no say-so.
If passed, students who live in this area will continue going to Tuscaloosa City Schools, so their education will not be interrupted. Bobo says he is worried people will vote no out of habit, so he warns people to pay attention and read the ballot to understand what they are voting for.
It's really simple. It's just the only way it can get resolved, the way it was created, has to be fixed using the same mechanism, which is a local constitutional amendment. And what it would do, if the voters choose to do it, it just puts the area that is in the county back into the county system.
Judge Robertson says he believes everyone should have the right to representation. Local in Tuscaloosa, Paisley Roberts, WVUA 23 News.
Now, Judge Robertson says although the local amendment on the ballot has nothing to do with the school system, it's the time to correct this mistake so it does not continue in the future. Well, this is the last full weekend for presidential candidates Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump. Now, recent CNN polls show the candidates are neck and neck with no clear leader. I sat down with our political analyst, Dr. Joseph Scrivener, to see what exactly these candidates need to do.
I think they need to address economic issues as well as immigration. And so people are concerned about those things, immigration rates high as well as the economy. And they need to assure people that they are competent, that they are trustworthy, maybe that they're not too extreme to one side or the other.
Now, both campaigns will hold the rallies tonight in Milwaukee. Well, the First Baptist Church in Tuscaloosa is holding their annual holiday sale this weekend. Organizers say they have been doing the sale for the past 10 years, and this year the event brought in 53 vendors, some of them coming up driving 3 hours away. Now, they say the main goal of the market is to support local missions such as the Good Samaritan Clinic and the local Soup Bowl. Now, the sale goes through tomorrow. Hours are from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. Well, Kentucky is ready for their first indoor event at their brand new location. Now, they're hosting a quilt display tonight. The event will also mark the 100th birthday for quilter Hallie O'Kelly. Now, Hallie has designed a quilt for each Kentucky festival since 1983, and all will be on display. Now, guests can expect a birthday cake and artist talk by O'Kelly at 6:30, live music and quilting demonstrations by the West Alabama Quilters Guild.
So Hallie's 100th birthday celebration and airing of the quilts is our first event inside Kentucky Queen City, and it means a whole lot to not only our organization but the community to be able to come in and experience, to be able to come in and see this space for the very first time. We've had the city of Tuscaloosa has done a little bit of renovating in this building to get it prepared for this day, and we're so excited to welcome everyone tonight.
Now, you can visit kentuck.org for more information on this event. Well, beginning Monday, November 4th, the Tuscaloosa residents can pay off an $18 city parking ticket with a toy donation for Toys for Tots. Now, toys valued at $10 or more will satisfy an $18 parking ticket. Toys valued at $20 or more will be accepted in place of two $18 parking tickets. Now, you can bring the toys to Tuscaloosa Municipal Court between November 4th and December 5th. The city requests purchase receipts or for the price tag to remain on the toy. Now, you can call the Tuscaloosa 311 if you have any questions. Well, our sports team will be heading out soon for another week of Football Friday. Now, this is the last of the regular season. Now, playoffs start next week. Now, we'll all be all over the area and have highlights tonight at 10:30. Our game of the week is Bayside at Tuscaloosa Academy. We'll have highlights from Tuscaloosa County High at Bryant, and Minor at Northridge. We'll also be at Northside at ACA and Pickens Academy at Greene County. Well, coming up, Daylight Saving Time ends this weekend and we'll fall back an hour. What do experts say? How to adjust? And social media uses has increased over the years. How you can avoid being scammed while using it. We're coming right back. Well, don't forget to turn your clocks back an hour this weekend as daylight saving times end. Now, some may feel like they will gain an extra hour of sleep, but experts say many times we are actually losing sleep during the time change. Mandy Gaither has some tips on how to help your entire family.
It's time to fall back. Daylight saving time ends at 2 a.m. Sunday morning, so turn your clocks back an hour.
Anytime there's a big time change, we tend to lose sleep or experience lower quality sleep.
Dr. Chafin Watkins Hart with National Jewish Health says the time change can be hard on everyone, but especially children, older adults, and early birds who avoid going to bed later.
We see higher rates of workplace safety accidents per se in the fall when people become sleep deprived because they've stayed up later but woke up at the same time. We also see a lot of mood changes and higher rates of depression.
To help the whole family get enough Z's, Hart says to start delaying meal times and bedtime by about 15 to 30 minutes leading up to the time change. If you're on a device before bed, make sure the blue light filter is on. Have a dark, cool room to promote quality sleep. Avoid long naps during the day. Expose yourself to light when it's time to wake up. And don't stay up too late the couple of nights before. Hart says this is especially important for children.
They're not going to sleep in the morning, and then they'll be more sleep deprived and more tired the following night.
Hart says children will also need to get out and play during the days before and after the time change so their bodies are ready for sleep. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Now, for older adults who may have trouble falling asleep, Dr. Hart suggests using a light therapy lamp which mimics sunlight and can help a person stay up a little later. Well, social media use has increased over the years. Many use it to stay in contact with family and some as a source of income. But with that comes a substantial increase in hacked accounts seen each year. The Better Business Bureau says scammers have now found a way to trick social media users into trying to recover those hacked accounts.
They advertise for a small fee, we can help you get your account back. We can help you get it straightened out or unlocked or reconnected. And then you give them a credit card, and all of a sudden they start charging you every 2 weeks for a subscription that you didn't know you signed up to. There's no way to do that except to deal with the legitimate social media companies.
Now, in the past 2 to 3 weeks, the BBB has had more than 100 phone calls reporting social media scams. Well, the final jobs report released before Election Day showed slower than expected growth in October. Just 12,000 jobs were added, down 100,000 from the expected gain. Now, numbers were expected to be affected due to the last month's hurricanes and labor strikes, but not this severe. Today's jobs report is the last piece of economic data to be released before Election Day.
And our local weather is a little more quiet this afternoon. Many of us getting some rain last night. We'll look at that local forecast coming up after the break. Stay with us. Hear my forecast every day on Rock 106.3 FM. And I'm sad to say this is the last time we'll see the sunset on a 5 o'clock news on a weekday because, hey, time changes over the weekend. I want to show you this, a great looking end of the day down at Gulf Shores, and a lot of sea spray on the camera there. That's what gives you that foggy look, and they've had a tremendous issue of rip current and surf all week, and dangerous rip currents continue along Alabama's Gulf Coast. Go over to our Pfeiffer cam at Fayette, and the clouds are back. Had some clearing earlier. In fact, at one point today, the sun was shining brightly in Fayette. The temperature currently at 72. Their high this afternoon only 73. And from Bryant and Tuscaloosa, again, the sun came out for a little while, but the clouds are clearly back. 76 currently in Tuscaloosa. Doppler radar nice and quiet. One little shower down in Myrtlewood on the Tombigbee River just west of Linden there. But again, everybody else across Alabama currently rain-free. Temperatures range from 69 in Haleyville now to 76 in Tuscaloosa, and Demopolis and Marengo County checking in the 70s right now. Put on the satellite and radar, and again across the region, a lot of cloud cover, especially across the southern counties. Overcast, very thick down there, and again, that is a sign of a lot of tropical moisture that's still in place. And hey, some of us getting a really nice rain across Alabama. Some areas up here in Pickens County along the Sipsey River Valley getting upwards of around 1 to 2 inches of rain last night, but not everybody got that rainfall. In fact, down there below Demopolis towards Linden, Thomaston, and Marion, hardly any rain at all in that part of Alabama. The higher totals further northwest you went there. Here's our forecast for tonight: 66 at 10, 63 at 1 a.m. And our Saturday planner here, mostly cloudy in the morning, 60 at daybreak. We'll top out the low 80s by mid-afternoon. The complete weekend, again, dry weather for the weekend. Humidity will be a little higher. You'll feel that mugginess across Alabama over the weekend. The latest drought monitor came out yesterday, and we'll likely see some improvements across northwest Alabama, especially those places northwest of Tuscaloosa picked up over 1 inch of rainfall. Of course, we need a lot more rain to go, and there's no more rain coming. I think for the weekend, dry weather will be around for Saturday as well as on Sunday. Here's your forecast for rain chances here the weekend. Again, dry. Next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, some spotty showers a possibility. Not a major rain event expected at this point. However, we'll be watching the Gulf of Mexico with interest, with some tropical activity likely. So cold up north, it's warm in the south, and we'll stay quite warm over the next several days with 80s still in that forecast. Again, in the tropics, here's where we're watching this area down here in the Caribbean with the potential for some development. This will come into the Gulf early next week. Could become a tropical storm, but the good news is there's a lot of shear up here that should keep it weak, and the sea surface temperature to come down just a bit as well. So we'll monitor trends very, very carefully. Here's your forecast. Got 80s over the weekend. Don't forget about the time change Saturday night and Election Day on Tuesday. Looking pretty nice. The highs in the low 80s. That's your local forecast update.
Hi, I'm Dr. Milady Murphy for this week's Your Personal Best. If you haven't exercised for a while, or you're thinking of starting an exercise program, stretching is a great foundational activity to build on. And today I have for you a stretch that is known as the seated back extension. It stretches the abdominal area as well as your chest and improves lower back strength. Simply done, place your feet shoulder width apart. Place your hands on your lower back, fingers down, just above the glutes. Facing in alignment at the edge of your chair, gently lean backward, head back, chest up, and feel that stretching through the chest and abdominals for 5 seconds. And back to center. This exercise, when done in a series of 3, holding for 5 seconds, improves circulation, improves stretching and flexibility in the front of the body, and strength in the back, especially the lower back. If you have any disc problems, this may not be the stretch for you. And in all things exercise, if you feel any pain when doing the stretch, stop. If the pain persists, work with your physician. And so until next time, be safe and practice wellness.
Thank you, Dr. Murphy. Coming up, Alabama head coach Kalen DeBoer says you can never let your guard down in college football these days. And the Alabama women's basketball team will open the season this coming Monday evening at home against New Orleans. We'll have the latest next in WVUA 23 Sports. Football Friday tonight at 10:30, the last week of the high school regular season. Can you believe that? Playoffs next week, but we got it covered for you tonight. High school highlights plus much, much more tonight at 10:30 on WVUA 23. And good evening, everybody. I'm Gary Harris, TGIF. Alabama football is off this weekend, of course, but the preparation for next Saturday's game at LSU has already begun. Alabama's coming off one of its best performances of the season, a 34-0 beatdown of Missouri last Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Alabama 6-2 overall and 3-2 in the SEC, so there's no margin for error. The game against Mizzou was certainly a big positive, but Coach DeBoer pointed out this week that while you're only as good as your last game, you can't dwell on the past. Win or lose, you got to move forward.
That's how we're going to approach it, even though we really don't need to say too much in regards to that. You know, we're just focusing on what we can do right now in the moment and really honing in on, you know, the kind of the mindset that you're only as good as your last play. You're only as good as your last game. And so take the things and learn from the Missouri game just like we would everything else. But really just we got to go out and play our best game that we possibly can against LSU. And, you know, that goes back to the work that's got to be done between now and then.
Alabama men's basketball is dealing with some injuries ahead of the start of the season. 4 players missed the 2 exhibition games, and Chris Youngblood looks to be out until mid-December. Yesterday, Crimson Tide head coach Nate Oates provided an injury update on the 3 other players who are close to being ready to go: Grant Nelson, Latrell Reitzel Jr., and Aiden Sherrill.
Probably Reitzel is probably the most furthest along, followed by Sherrill and Grant. Grant's been the one held out of more things than the other 2 so far, but you know they've all done something these last 2 days in practice. We're off tomorrow, see how they recover after today's practice.
Alabama women's basketball. Now the Tide is getting ready for its 50th season as a program and its 12th year under head coach Christy Curry. Alabama will host New Orleans in the season opener this Monday at 5 o'clock ahead of the men's game against UNC Asheville. Alabama starts this season ranked number 24 in the Associated Press preseason poll. The national ranking marks the first time since the 1988-99 season that Alabama opened a season ranked in the preseason poll. Alabama won its exhibition game Wednesday night over Columbus State 95-62 after leading by only 6 at halftime. Head coach Christy Curry felt her team took a lot away from that exhibition game.
I just knew this group would provide a different look than we saw there, and I thought it was really good for us. A lot of positives, a lot of teaching, just learning the home game day routine, post-game routine. We're just teaching a little bit of everything right now, so I thought our exhibition was a really good experience for us. I loved how we finished the game. It's always a game of runs. A lot of little things we can take away from tonight.
Heads, Bar Hoops, are back as well, but we're still focused tonight on Football Friday.
Yeah. All right, Garrett, thank you. Stick around. We're coming right back.
Elections.
We're coming up on the news at 10. Former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris are in a virtual dead heat going into Election Day. Recent polls show Trump holds an advantage with men and Harris with women. We'll take a look at the gender gap. And Alabama airports are receiving $3.6 million in state grants. We'll tell you how much is coming to the Tuscaloosa National Airport. Those stories and more tonight at 10 o'clock. And before we go, final sports here.
Yeah, getting ready for Football Friday. Of course, I'll be in at 10 as well. But 10:30 tonight, not as many high school games tonight. We talked about this earlier in the week. A lot of teams taking the bye. And for some teams, the season's already wrapped up. But the games that are out there, we'll have them covered for you tonight.
All right, final weather.
Hey, good weather for those games. It will be muggy, though, so let me say that. Temperatures will drop into the 60s overnight with that kind of warm and damp feel to the air. Don't forget about the time change over the weekend. We fall back an hour Saturday night, technically Sunday morning, but before you go to bed Saturday night, set your clocks back. And for next week, we got Election Day on Tuesday. Not bad. We'll be in the low 80s, warm and mostly dry. The potential for a few showers out there, but again, I think widespread rain is unlikely for Tuesday.
Right.
We'll keep an eye on it.
All right, well, that's it for us. Have a great evening.
See you.